Womp. What happens when you take a high mileage 5.3 liter and add this, and this, and this, and it doesn't work?
Hey guys, Richard Holder here. Who wants to see me put an M90 supercharger on my Silverado? Actually, truth be told, this is actually a fail video. We didn't fail to put the M90 on here. We did. We even ran it on the chassis dyno, but for the life of us, we could not get this thing to make any power. At the end of the video, I'm going to go over all of the things that we tested to try to diagnose it, to try to figure out why is this thing not making any power, but I need your help. Let me know what you guys think. What did we miss? What more should we test? And what should we try to get this thing to work? Because, I mean, who doesn't want like an extra 100 or 150 foot-pounds in their truck? Okay, so it's not pretty, but hey, you won't look this good when you got 330,000 miles. Okay, we got the Holley low ram all prepped. We got a provision for, you know, our vacuum and boost. We got our injectors installed, running some 80 pounders. We've got the Holley fuel rail. Got a rear crossover for this. You see we have our map sensor thing there plugged. Got our O-ring in. So now we can install this on the truck. All right, let's see if we can get this thing in. This is so much easier on the engine dyno. Okay. Well, close. So many things it has to miss. Let's see. I think we're on something. There we go. It's all good. Okay, got the lower manifold in. Got our fuel rail back there hooked up. Gotta put the bolts on and the nuts on. Secure this down and then install the adapter plate. Next up, the Super RICHIE adapter plate. See, this one was actually for a Gen 5. I just quickly made this little spacer here to put in there so we could run it on this early Gen 3 blower. Tom DeMuse, M90. So let's go ahead and install it on the low ram. Okay, the adapter plate's installed. Now we have to set on the M90 blower. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is, because the supercharger is, you know, it's heavy, it's awkward, and I have the inlet kind of attached onto it already. So rather than try to lean over this thing and get it in, I think I'm probably gonna climb into the engine bay with the supercharger. Because the other thing I'm worried about is this gasket is gonna move around. It's not in place. I don't have any studs in there, which would be nice, but that would make it harder to put the supercharger on there. So the way to get around that, when I'm trying to do it here by myself, is I think climb into the engine bay. Okay, there we go. I'm going in. It's much better working on the engine dyno. Have I mentioned that? Okay. See how many things I break, and this will be super cool. Okay, let's see if I can maybe not break the AC. That would be good. Okay, let's get this in here. That wasn't too bad. Nice. I gotta climb in the engine bay more often. It's awesome. Stuck the landing. Okay, got the blower installed a little bit further. We can see we have our belt on now. It's our idler, so we got good belt wrap on there. We got a 2.6 ZZP pulley on there. It's our alternator. You can see this little bracket back here. It's from Tom Demuse. Steps the alternator up. So we got good belt wrap there. We've got our injectors on. Got our throttle body hooked up. That's a temporary position. Actually, it's going to be in another position when this thing is finalized. But for right now, for the dyno runs, we're going to run it here. And then all we have to do is hook up our inlet tube, go over to our mass air meter, and I think we're ready to test. Okay, because I didn't have time to put a 255 in the tank, we're using a remote. This way, this will allow us to run the pump gas and then also switch over to E85 pretty quickly. So you've got our line up for the dyno to monitor fuel pressure. It's just doing the O2 sensor. Mark Sanchez allowed us to use this. Got an adjustable fuel pressure regulator on there. We just got the lines going up into the Holley fuel rails. Got our blower on there. Got our Super RICHIE temporary custom intake going to the factory mass air meter. You know, so this is all real world. Yeah, M90 the world. One love, one. Silverado. Do a short pull to begin with. Okay guys, unfortunately, I was not able to make power. What happened during the chassis dyno testing with the blower is it actually made less power than it did when we first ran this thing NA. And here's the rundown, and you guys let me know what you think, what went wrong, and maybe what are the things we should try. So first of all, I did not make an NA run this time. We have run this truck. It's all stock. We haven't changed anything. It just has a muffler on it. But it is all stock, and we run it previously. I looked up the dyno results about 2 years ago. You know, it's in the 240 to 250 at the tire range, kind of right where we think a 5.3 liter should be. But I didn't run it this time, so that may come back to haunt us, because maybe, and it's possible that this thing is just down on power now, because it does have 330,000 miles on it. Is it down on power right now? And then when we tried adding the blower, this is actually what it makes. I don't think so, and here's why. It seemed like it was down one cylinder. So we did a cylinder test, you know, a cylinder drop test, and one of the cylinders is down. This one turned out to be number 7. And we thought, well, what the heck is going on? Now, a couple of things that we did add different injector clips on here to adapt from the, we had truck, obviously, injectors on there, and then we needed to go to the EV6 injectors. So we spliced in another section, and they're plug and play. It's pretty simple. They're all weather pack done, and we did continuity on all those. They all work fine. We did noise testing on all the wires. All of that's fine. So the computer is sending a signal to that injector. So we thought, hey, maybe it's the injector. So we swapped injectors, still that cylinder. We tested all the injectors for flow and impedance. They're all flowing. They all have the same impedance. There's nothing wrong with those injectors because we had just run those injectors and that supercharger on the engine dyno, and it worked flawlessly. We also then took the blower off to look in there and make sure that there wasn't a rag or something stuffed in there to make sure that, you know, we weren't getting flow impeding into there. None of that was a problem. We took the valve cover off, make sure when we're cranking it, the rockers are going up and down. We did a compression test. There's no broken springs. All the valves are working. It has compression. We did check the spark plugs. We swapped spark plugs and then put new spark plugs in. We changed the gap. All of that's fine. We tried changing the plug wire and swap plug wires. That's all fine. They did test and make sure that the coil is firing. And that coil is firing. I didn't ever try, and this is one of the things that I want to try. You guys let me know in the comments what you think. But I did want to try a whole new coil pack. The only thing I think is a possibility is that if we're, you know, with the blower, we're making more cylinder pressure, we would see maybe a weak coil start to give out. But we're not even making NA power yet. And it works fine when it's NA. I won't know that for sure that the motor's okay until when I go back down to West Tech. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to put it back together and run an NA. You see, I didn't do an NA run and then swap everything over. I had already started swapping things over because we had limited chassis dyno time. I had already started swapping things over. Make sure I didn't have any problems. This was a brand new first time putting together kind of thing for me to run on the chassis dyno. So I wanted to make sure that everything was ready and we could just put it on there and make some runs. We had fuel pressure. We were monitoring fuel pressure with, you saw the thing that we made, our little remote fuel system, and that worked out good. We had air fuel. We had timing. This thing had about 19. We tried about, I think, as much as 19 degrees of timing. This was on 91 pump gas. The air fuel was right. You know, it was in the 11s. It was making boost. It had about 7 pounds of boost, at least on the initial load in stuff. It had about 7 pounds of boost. All of that seemed to be working the way that it's supposed to. We just don't know why it seems like that one cylinder wasn't firing. But let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Is this thing down on power NA? We won't know until we retest that. Is it a coil problem? Let me know what else you think it might be. I'm Rich Earl. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, do all that stuff. I'll keep testing this thing.